Yeah, the system make its way in yesterday. Now it started bringing in some rain. We'll continue to see those showers continue, not just today, but going through much of the midweek. Might see some lingering showers early into Thursday. And the system also going to bring windy conditions. Yesterday was out of the south. Today, going to be shifting out of the northwest. That's going to bring us onto the cool side of those fall temperatures. And we're going to become more mild and dry as we head later into the week, into the weekend. But that's before next week, where it looks like we might have another system ready to come on in. Let's look at the current mean sea level pressure. You can see this nice blue blob over Lake Superior in our area. That is where we do have indeed that low pressure system sitting over us. And in fact, even though it is set almost directly over the Northland, doesn't mean we're seeing too much shower action right now. Most of the showers are always around the low pressure system, not right over the top of it. So we're seeing mostly cloudy conditions generally, maybe a little bit of sunshine down here again towards the UP, but overall it is just pretty cloudy. And a few showers. We're seeing some in Aitkin and Pine County making its way through Hayward. So we have a little bit of shower action here and there for the western half of the Northland. But outside of that, again, mostly just pretty cloudy right now. But this system is going to continue to drift slowly to the east, and that means we could see more showers make their way on in here for many of us once we get later into the afternoon. And once we start heading into the evening and overnight hours especially, we can start noticing we're going to see it mostly stick around on the south shore. This is something we're used to seeing in the winter time when we have that lake effect snow, but because it's a little bit more warmer outside than what we expect in the winter time, we're actually seeing that lake effect rain taking its place. And we continue to see some shower action, not just for the south shore, but across the Northland, even as we head into early Thursday before it finally moves on out. And when it comes to those rain totals, well, generally we're speaking, we're probably seeing a few tenths up to half an inch away from the south shore. More of the rain totals coming in northern Minnesota, but look at here along the south shore, we can see those totals pushing closer to an inch and not even more, thanks to that lake of enhancement there, primarily in the higher elevation areas where we can see more of that rain, and we can maybe see a few snowflakes as well. And so maybe, I doubt we're going to see any accumulate. It's a little bit too mild that maybe a couple pockets here we might see the lightest of dusting. But outside of that, it's mostly just going to be rainfall for us. And we're going to now talk about those winds, because as the storm system moves through, it's not just going to be the rain we're going to see, it's going to be those winds, and they're going to be very much blustery today thanks to that system being right over us. In fact, those northwest winds, we're going to be seeing them, especially the further southwest yard, they're going to be gusting up to 30, 40 miles per hour, even more. We actually have wind advisories in place for Aitkin and Pine County, as they can gust up to 45 miles per hour, as I mentioned. This can down some branches, down some trees, so we can lose some power. So I'm going to keep an eye on as we go through today. And over Lake Superior, we can expect some pretty good wave action thanks to these winds, especially once you get towards the UP. This is where the waves are going to get probably well over 5 feet, pushing on 10 feet. So it's going to be pretty choppy on the lake as well. And with all the winds, we're going to be staying cool. Temperatures this morning around 40 degrees. And guess what? As we get into the afternoon, it's going to stay pretty similar. We're going to be staying mostly in the 40s, maybe a few spots staying in the upper 30s once we're into northern Minnesota. And as we start to pull this forward into Wednesday, the temperature is not going to change much anymore. So today and tomorrow going to be very similar, 40s overall, maybe some upper 30s for those highs. And with the winds, we can see the wind chills getting into the 30s. So going to feel quite cool, coolest we have all fall, especially with how mild this fall has been up to this point. But mentioning mild, we're going to see those conditions continue to mild up as we head towards the weekend. We're going to be seeing those high temperatures get back into the 50s, low 60s for much of the Northland. So it's going to be, again, on the mild side of fall once we get later on. And it's going to be dry as well. We're going to be mostly seeing that sunshine once we start getting later in the Thursday into end the week. Now, there is a little bit of chance, not all the models agree with this, but there's a little bit of chance we can see some showers on Friday going to Saturday. Not much confidence in all. It is because of a little bit of a short wave in the jet stream, and because with these kind of small short waves that could form, they're really hard to predict even just a few days out. So I want to put too much emphasis on this, though it is possible. You might want to just keep that in mind. Maybe some rain on Friday, Saturday. However, what's a lot more confident is looks like we might be seeing some rain next week. Now the timing is not exact yet, but there's likely to be a system to make its way on in. But let's deal with that system we're dealing with now, because we're going to continue to see some rain. We're going to say mostly light, but we can see a decent amount for the south shore, keeping us cool and breezy until, again, as I mentioned, we're going to be seeing those mild conditions as we get back into the weekend.